I quietly ask you, if you were to die today, what would you leave behind that could change the world? The world isn't changing. I want to start with this simple, cold truth because the hope, frustration, and weariness inside most of us stem from it. Let me ask you this. If you want to change the world, will you strike it with love or with the cold scales of justice? This isn't a question buried in the pages of a book. It is a knot in life itself. In Dostoyevsky's novel, the paths of three brothers converge at a crossroads: passion, thought, and surrender. Their struggle is not merely a family drama. It mirrors the duality of modern humanity. When you look into that mirror, what do you see? Your own face or the ideas you cling to? At first, there is discomfort. Ivan's mind generates a logical anger at the world's cruelty. As he tallies the suffering of children, the defense of faith crumbles. This unease is the burden of those forced to reconcile faith and morality. Ask yourself, if God exists, why do children suffer? This is not a casual question. It is where conscience wrestles with reason. As discomfort grows, awareness emerges. Alyosha's sincerity and Zosima's silent guidance offer a kind of answer, yet Ivan's doubts never fade. Between anger and love, a void opens. In that space, people act, or they do nothing. Free will is no longer a gift but a curse. To choose is to bear the consequences. Deep in the novel, free will defines what it means to be human and what leads to our destruction. Knowing oneself reveals limits. Dmitri's passions, Smerdiakov's darkness, Ivan's intellectual chaos, they all whisper the same truth. Ideas transform into action. You cannot act as if thoughts are harmless. Unchecked, they can become violence, submission, or indifference. This transformation is the harshest test of the claim to change the world. What about love? Dostoyevsky celebrates it, but he does not romanticize it. Love carries risk even when innocent. Alyosha's love is patient and gentle. We witness it, we desire it, we want to follow it. But can love alone save the world? Virtue without justice can blind us. Compassion may wrap the wounded in comfort, but it cannot always repair injustice. Alone, it sometimes obscures the truth. Justice, on the other hand, is cold, sharp, and intimidating. Courtrooms, laws, and punishment promise order, but can they heal the guilt or innocence within the soul? Dmitri's trial reminds us, justice is often a stage, reality resides in the heart. Punishment may bring relief, but more often, it merely shifts the curtain. Even when justice is served, consciences remain divided, and society's healing is incomplete. An inner reckoning is necessary. The novel teaches that transformation must begin within. While attempts to change the world may produce external results, the true struggle is internal. This inner war brims with the urge to justify ourselves, to blame others, to escape. Often, when we see our guilt, we convert it into pride, disbelief, or the mask of heroism. When genuine awareness blooms, discomfort evolves into responsibility. Awareness hurts because our defenses no longer function. Ivan understands, but understanding destroys him. Zosima's teachings reflect humanity like a mirror. Every action connects to another. That connection carries both hope and burden. Love and justice collide here. Justice cuts independently. Love warms through connection. Which should prevail? Pause here. Set aside your anger, compassion, and hope and simply look at yourself. When we seek change, we often look outward, judging others for mistakes, neglect, and flaws. But what do we judge within ourselves when alone? People are shaken when confronted by their own darkness because there is no deception, no mask, only raw self-recognition. Facing this internal discomfort is the start of awakening. Perhaps change falters because we avoid this awareness. When your mind challenges you, every question and contradiction keeps you alive. If everything were clear, if you had no choices, if your conscience stayed silent, who would the real you be? Anger and love, justice and mercy, are they mere words or energies we experience? Close your eyes and listen. Which voice rises louder, the critical mind or the whisper of the heart? Listening is the first step toward change, for yourself and others. There are no easy answers. In silence, your mind and heart collide and sometimes fall quiet. It is in that stillness that awareness sparks. No one sees it, no one hears it. Only you exist, and perhaps, in that moment, the seed of transformation is born. Did you notice that spark? Or did you smother it with judgment, anger, and defense? Every choice generates energy. Silence is also a choice, but even in silence, something moves within. Did you notice that spark? Or did you smother it with judgment, anger, and defense? Every choice generates energy. Silence is also a choice, but even in silence, something moves within. Now look deeper. Set aside the world, its injustices, its lack of love, and confront your own small neglects and flaws. Do they trouble you? What? If you are honest, you may find an answer that belongs only to you. This secret, your interpretation, your decision, your action, is yours to carry. You can keep it private or share it. Awareness itself is impact even before action. Here is where many people falter. We observe the world, we witness suffering, injustice, and neglect, yet we are often blind to the quiet spaces of our own hearts. There are small compromises, overlooked responsibilities, and hidden resentments that accumulate silently. They shape our choices, our reactions, and the way we influence others. Understanding this is not comfortable. It is unsettling to see how fear, pride, and laziness may subtly dictate our actions. Yet this recognition is necessary. The first step to meaningful change is acknowledging the shadows we carry within. This is a silent challenge. Can you recognize your contradictions, fears, love, and justice? Or are you skimming the surface, relying on ready-made answers? Answering this invites you on a journey with your conscience. Here you cease to be merely a spectator. You confront your own thoughts, feelings, and choices. A comment is more than a word. It becomes a mirror reflecting your inner journey. Now look deeper. Set aside the world, its injustices, its lack of love, and confront your own small neglects and flaws. Do they trouble you? What? If you are honest, you may find an answer that belongs only to you. This secret, your interpretation, your decision, your action, is yours to carry. You can keep it private or share it. Awareness itself is impact even before action. This is a silent challenge. Can you recognize your contradictions, fears, love, and justice? Or are you skimming the surface, relying on ready-made answers? Answering this invites you on a journey with your conscience. Here you cease to be merely a spectator. You confront your own thoughts, feelings, and choices. A comment is more than a word. It becomes a mirror reflecting your inner journey. This question is timeless. Should we punish first or embrace first? In politics, the choice is clear. Reform, forgiveness, or punishment. Dostoyevsky avoids simple answers because humanity is dual. Good and evil coexist. Changing the world requires testing ourselves first, not others. We are all Ivan one moment and Alyosha the next. Sometimes we wield cold logic. Sometimes we surrender. Sometimes we seek justice. Sometimes we long for love. Accepting this duality is the hardest condition for worldly change. Reflect. When do you choose justice, when love? Have you considered the consequences of your choices on the world around you? There is a striking line in the novel. The whole issue is whether a person accepts their responsibility or not. Short but heavy. Accepting responsibility is both virtue and challenge. Once we do, blame is no longer simple. Letting go of blame invites a calm that can feel destructive. How sufficient is this calmness for change? Dostoyevsky reminds us, ideas don't kill, people who live by them do. Ideas influence, take root, and turn into action. To break this chain, we must confront the soil nurturing our thoughts. Anger, fear, forgetfulness. Attempting to change the world without changing them is superficial. As the novel deepens, acceptance emerges. Acceptance is not surrender, it is seeing reality. Seeing reality splits paths. Either find tools to navigate it or create excuses to escape. Dostoyevsky rarely shows his choices, but we feel the weight of consequences. This feeling can stink or warm like a human hand. Pain is inevitable. Whether it purifies or corrupts is up to you. Weaponized pain breeds revenge. Met with compassion, it stitches new seams in a broken world. Justice and love must walk together. There is no simple formula. The struggle is personal, ongoing, and difficult. Awareness deepens. Society fails to change because most individuals are unready. Transformation is not the work of heroes. It is the sum of countless small choices, daily repetitions. The world stalls not from grand traps, but thousands of omissions. Each omission signals inner acceptance. I will not change. Yet hope remains. The novel whispers that hope depends on knowing oneself. Know yourself and you understand others. Touching their pain may be enough to change. Transformation takes time. Patience is demanded, yet most find it unbearable. Emotions tangle, inner reckoning unfolds. Are you fair to yourself? Can you love yourself justly? Love with justice is complex, often uncomfortable. Forgiveness without justice? Punishment without love? Let the unease linger. It is fertile ground for thought. One shocking truth emerges. What we cling to may be hollow. Believers and skeptics alike are shaken. Perhaps our world resists change because we cannot tolerate the break. When the old gives way, what fills the void? Love, justice, or a new principle? A call exists, subtle, a whisper. Do not respond immediately. Observe Ivan and Alyosha within. When do you trust the mind, when the heart? These lines can deceive. The mind can mask the heart, and the heart can mask the mind. Dostoyevsky denies simple answers because they offer easy peace. He disturbs us intentionally. Thought, not action, often isolates us with ourselves, and that is the challenge. In this uneasy solitude, every thought, every quiet reflection carries weight. It is here, alone with yourself, that the smallest spark of awareness can awaken action, guiding the first real step toward meaningful change. In this silence, you confront not only the world's chaos but the quiet storms within yourself. Every fear, every regret, every unspoken desire shapes the choices you will make. Awareness is not easy, it asks courage and honesty, and yet it is the beginning of true change. Finally, ask yourself, if you want to change the world, what must you change first? The outside or the darkness within? Does the cold scale or the warm embrace sway you? As these forces clash, which line will you cross? Can you forgive yourself there? Remember, the closest place to salvation is a small human heart. It holds both love and justice. The nature of your touch shapes the change. Change is gradual, grown through repetition, where emotion and reason walk side by side. So now I leave it to you. If you act today quietly, unseen, where will your first step lead? Toward love, justice, or a way to carry both at once?